Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your Friday and joining us here again. We're trying to keep this every other week schedule, so I think it works. We're not getting, you don't get too burnt out and too sick of each other by doing it every week. So have every other week is actually a good case. So I appreciate it. How's it going,
Okay.
Jim?
I agree.
Jerry.
Everything's good, man. It's been crazy busy. Been on the road. Was in Phoenix last week and Georgia this week consulting and now new store. I'll be back in Georgia next week. And my daughter's like, "When you coming home?" I'm like, "I'm coming home tonight and I'll be out Monday morning." So
You travel so much, dude. Do you like it traveling that much? Yes or no?
Yes and no. It's got its perks. I mean, it's like like last night I was going to try and get back early, but because of the headache with the keypad, I wound up another night down here. And then I got back to the hotel and I had like 97 emails to go through after dinner. So, just trying to do time at the store, get the store taken over. And it's, dude, it's what we do. It's life. So, but no, it's fun. I got to be, in Phoenix last week at the AZ show and got to present there and
How'd that go?
good. Had a really good topic. Congratulations, you bought your property. Now what? And I had that conversation before about, hey, I just bought one. Now what do I do? It's like, okay, should have thought of that before you bought it, but okay, we're gonna get you through it. So
How was the attendance?
it was good. The trade show floor, not so much for the vendors, but we're probably 250, 300 people there. So it was a decent attendance. That keynote was a little gloom and doom type that, but and again, there's so many people I talked to last week that have only been in the business for 2.5 years and they don't know what the real normal is.
Yeah, I actually had that conversation yesterday. In fact, he may be on here. That he started right about 2 years ago. And he rented up the first phase, which is a smaller facility, but rented up the first phase, rented a unit a day. He's like, hey, this is a good clip. I filled up, and he opened up, basically doubled what he had already built, and it just kind of stagnated. It's just like, oh, he's like, what do I do? I'm like, maybe you shouldn't have built. I don't know. He's like,
I got an owner right now. Talked to last night. He's adding a building. Was going to do it in 2 phases, but now the bank's giving heartache and all that stuff. And he goes, well, I'm ready to drop 30,000 square foot of climate control in your lap. I'm like, go ahead, bring it, because that market doesn't have climate. So even though there's a lot of storage units, climate's in need, and the ones that are there are so full, it's not even funny. So I said, David, we're gonna fill it up for you. We're gonna do it. I goes, I'm not gonna drop the rates. I said we're gonna come in with a good rate, and we're gonna come in with probably a pretty good concession plan, and let it go, and not try to hurt ourselves by doing the green door model, which is coming renting for $5 a unit and then bumping, and nobody likes that. So
the green door, the orange door, all the colored doors. Yeah, that's what they do. I just realized I've seen some new faces coming on, which is awesome. I'm glad we're getting some new people. We haven't done this the last couple of weeks. Let's give a 30-second who we are real quick, because maybe they don't know. Like
age first.
Dudes. All right.
Age first.
Thanks. All right. My name is Jim Ross. I own a property management company called 3 Mile Storage Management. Been in the game for many, many years, from manager and regional manager, and then owning the management company. Love marketing. That's kind of where it all starts. If you can't get the phone to ring, you don't have a business. So I've focused a lot on marketing avenues and doing this kind of stuff. Put as much value as you can when it comes to content, doing these kind of Q&As and the podcast and the books and all that fun stuff. So you can go to 3milestorage.com. That's kind of like my hub. Got everything there. Got a lot of freebies there. So go check it out. You're up, Jimbo.
Jim Mooney Jr. I'm VP of Operations for Freedom Storage Management. We own and operate 28 stores now, up and down the East Coast and a little bit everywhere. Like Jim, I've been in the business a long time. I started as a site manager again back in the day with no technology, paper leases, all that stuff, and work way up in the organization and joined Freedom as an owner operator in 2019. And as Jim alluded to earlier, I'm always somewhere traveling, speaking, consulting, doing a lot of stuff. I did a consulting job this week, and it amazes me still the stores that are not, I don't want to say, performing at their max, because they don't have all the tools they need to be doing it right. give you a really funny one. Met with an owner this week, and I looked at his tenant demand tracking report out of SiteLink, and his walk-ins were strong, phone calls were non-existent, and websites were non-existent. Well, your managers aren't logging your phone calls, and your website's not working because you're not getting any traffic. And we went through the thing, and we did the incognito searches, and one store was ranking 13th, and one store was ranking 14th, and one store was ranking 12th, and they're just not there with the website. And he goes, "Well, I'm paying for my website." I said, "Yes, but are the keywords right? The meta tags right? All that stuff, the marketing part of it that I know a little bit about, and I'm dangerous, but I know enough to know where it's going to be and kind of put in the right direction on where he's going to be." So,
Yeah, I just got done doing a 3-day AI workshop. I had to take a break from storage for a little while. I had too much storage, so I went and hung out with the AI nerds for like 3 days in Vegas. And SEO, get ready, guys. That was a common theme of just how many of these websites are going to start plugging into SEO, and then those that are kind of early adopters, they're going to start creeping up because a lot of these, as it gets more adopted for the AI tools. I mean, just look at Facebook. They just started this week embedding all the AI stuff in Facebook. People that start searching on those things, the ones that start adopting these kind of search terms into their website, they're going to start ranking a lot higher than their competitors. Still very early. I'm going to learn more about it. And of course, as I learn it, I'm going to teach it. So just stay tuned, and I'm going to give you guys some heads up when it comes to that kind of stuff on some cool strategy to be able to start.
I'm very
scary,
interested about that.
Yeah, it's definitely a little scary with the everything going on out there. And I know people are going to, and like everything else, they're going to rely heavily on the AI, and it's going to bite them. I've seen it already in some pages that because Google has already stated that if they can tell that everything's written by AI, it's going to get flagged.
Yep. Yeah, you can't. It's a tool, not a crutch.
Right.
That's really what it comes down to. So you can use it as a tool. I use it all the time, but you definitely have to have that human element, not just cool, copy paste, I'm done. It doesn't work that way. It'll bite you in the ass real quick.
Yeah. No, you can't. So AI is important, but it's like anything else. I mean, it's interesting with the Phoenix show and coming out of SSA and ISS and all the conferences. There's a lot of talk about that, but getting and I hate to say it this way, but you have to make sure you have your basics right before you start adding all the little bells and whistles. Because if you don't have the baseline straight, I mean,
if you don't have the foundation right, it's all going to crumble if you don't have the foundation and got the basics done correctly. Because garbage in, garbage out. You can't.
Guys,
up.
yeah, we were at the TSSA, their luncheon yesterday, and they were talking specifically about marketing and new things to try for this year that are because it's different than it has been. And Christina Alvino mentioned, we were talking about AI, and she said specifically, if I see the word bespoke in anything, AI wrote that, because that's just not a word that we use. And I literally last night I was reading an article, and it said my bespoke budget is this amount, and I texted and was just like, literally within 10 hours of her having said that, and she said, "Yup, AI." They did not. Nobody talks like that. Come on, guys, get it together.
Well, it's like you swallowed an encyclopedia or a dictionary. It's like, okay, nobody, especially guys, listen. Storage is not rocket science. Storage is not brain surgery. Storage is fun group to be in, but we all don't talk like that. I mean, especially down here in the South, you got that southern twang and all that stuff down here. And I went out for dinner last night at the store, and I said something I said, "Hey, can I have a Coke?" And she goes, "You mean a pop?" I'm like, "How's a pop?" Oh, no, I forgot where I was. So,
Yep.
But that AI stuff, I mean, it's going to be good. It's going to be beneficial. It's going to be helpful. But it's just like anything else. I mean, even like when you go to websites are great to have, but they don't replace. I mean, in my presentation this week in Georgia, one of my last slides is managers. Managers are the most critical part. Whether you're in house, you're in your office, you're remote, you're working telecommute, whatever. The manager aspect for this year, because listen, And Jim, it's still 50% plus. I've never used storage before. And I love the fact and I made everybody in the room laugh the other day because I said, look, I said, we all got that customer. When you pull up, you're going to grab the phone and put the phone to your ear because you're like, oh shit, they're here. We all have them. And we all laugh because it's true. But having the right tools, and again, AI is a tool. It's not.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw it was probably last year and a half ago. I was talking with a programmer, and he was worried that AI was going to replace all the programmers. Like, no. I said they might, but in my mind, you need the programmer, as you said, to make sure everything's right.
Yeah, and
Thank
again,
you.
I never kind of get on a tangent on AI here. We can talk about all sorts of stuff. But just
All
real
right,
quick,
thank
guys,
you.
if you're here, again, this is a total free flowing conversation. Any questions you got? Anything you have that you want to bring up? That's what this is for. So we're just.
I see
Well,
Jamie.
I
on
like
here.
to use
Jamie, you said you
AI.
wanted to say something when we were in ISS. Can you hop on,
Who's he talking to?
Jamie?
Thank you.
I don't see her. She's there, but I don't see her hopping on.
Yeah, I don't see it right now.
Right.
Actually, you can jump on. All right, more people coming on. No, I'm just admitting it.
I use AI, but I tweak it.
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
How do you use it?
For letters that I want to write more professionally than my Southern slang. But then I go in there and I tweak it so that it's more personable.
Yeah, again, not to like self promo, but if you look at my LinkedIn,
I think my computer's a little slow.
if you want, guys want just like a primer, just like a basic. Here's what's happening now. Here's what's going to come down the pipeline here in the short future. I did a 2-hour presentation 2 weeks ago, or maybe a week ago. I don't know. It's a blur. But if you look at my LinkedIn, you'll see it. It's on there. And it was me and my buddy Nikki Coe. That's just a genius when it comes to AI stuff. And we just did like a 2-hour presentation. Just again, kind of the basics of you got to know this is coming down. This is coming. You don't want to be caught off guard. At least start playing with it. Become aware.
Right.
That's more important, frankly. Just become aware of what's out there. You don't have to go too far down the rabbit hole like I've been doing lately, but.
So Sherry, how was the Ozark, Sherry?
You're talking to Sherry Miller?
Yeah.
Are you talking to me, Jim? What was the question?
I said, how was the Ozarks?
I didn't get to go to the Ozarks.
Oh, that's right. Your plane got canceled, right?
Oh, shush. That was Columbus. Yes.
Oh, right.
My gosh.
Oh.
That was a disaster. I thought for a minute, maybe I just was not meant to go to Ohio.
How was the Ohio show? That was a multi-state one. How was it? How was the attendance?
It was really good. In fact, the second I got there and set up my booth, I thought the reception was going to start. And as I was standing up from behind my booth, I heard somebody talking and the show had started. I thought it was just the reception. So I had more traffic the first few hours of the Ohio show than I did altogether in Arizona. So Ohio was good once we finally got there.
The Arizona trade show floor was definitely light. So yeah,
but we had some good connection time and we got to go for a Jeep ride.
yeah, I blessed myself getting in and out of that car. So yes, I was very So what are you guys
Jim,
seeing?
who taught your AI class that you took for 3 days?
Sorry, I can't hear you. Say it one more time.
Go ahead, Steve.
So Jim, who taught your AI class that you took for 3 days? And aside from the obvious, the SEO optimization and assisting with letters, what takeaways did you have for real other practical beneficial uses for self-storage?
Yeah, loaded question. I'll summarize it here. I did one 3-day workshop about 3 weeks ago that just happened to be about 20 minutes away from my house. So I was just like, I gotta go to this. It just happened to be here. People are flying from all over the world. And it just happened to be here. And that was much more in depth. I mean, it's like, here's a tool. We're gonna play with this tool. You're gonna build this. It was much more of a workshop.
Who was the instructor?
His name is Nikki Coe, Kho.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, they're doing a lot when it comes to his goal is to educate 1 million people in the next year on AI. And he's doing it. He's got a good clip going. Very smart dude. And then the one I just went to in Vegas for the last 3 days was more of a conference. So a lot of guest speakers, and a lot of people just giving a better overview of what's going on. And what I took away from that, because of course I put everything through the lens of self-storage, since that's what I do. I see the first thing that's really going to start making an impact, and you're already seen it with Swivel, for example, with the chatbots. That's AI. Okay, whether you know it or not, that's AI when it comes to Swivel. There's going to be more and more people, because the technology is becoming more readily available to the average Joe. So you're going to start seeing more of those chatbots coming into play. I put one on my website just for kicks and giggles. It probably doesn't even work. But if you want to go to 3milestorage.com, you'll see a little chatbot there. It's an avatar that just talks. I don't know, asking about what's property management, what's new and what's the latest in self-storage.
I had a really,
See what it said.
really worthless and annoying experience with a chatbot, unrelated, not in self-storage, but an information service that was not providing some of the information that I pay for. All of a sudden, there's no plats and there's no flood map available, which usually you click and it's right there, and all of a sudden, and I asked why not. It told me all the places that I could get it. And I said yes, and I pay to get it here. Where is it?
Yeah,
And the
that's
chatbot, of course,
that just means the
doesn't care.
chatbot's not trained properly. It's the same thing. If you're going to train an employee, how much training are you giving it? It's only as good as the training and the information you're putting in it.
And that's what I was wondering when you just volunteered that at your own website, there's a chatbot there. Is it really functionally beneficial?
Not
Or
yet.
is somebody like me going to go there and really be frustrated by it and have it reflect poorly on
I
your
don't know.
business?
Just play. I literally put it on a couple days ago just to play around with it. I haven't trained it whatsoever. Literally, all I told it was, "You're in the self-storage industry with 20 years experience." That's it. That's it. I just wanted to see what it would do.
Okay.
So it's totally. I have no problems trying to break things, looking dumb. I just throw it out there, and we're just playing with this stuff right now. But one thing I do see, the second part of that question would be for like call centers, things like that. I think this year you're gonna start seeing, at least for the initial intake of like, hey, you're looking for self-storage,
Yeah, the call center,
those kind of
that's in
things.
place
You're gonna
for-
start seeing more and more of those kind of interactive voice plots coming into play.
That's always been there, Jim.
I know, yeah,
Yeah,
just
we've
more
been
people
using
doing
that
it.
for
Yep.
years and years and years. We just didn't call it AI.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Funny enough, today is World Intellectual Property Day. So when it comes to AI, we're feeding all of our intellectual property into AI so other people could use it. So really, are we protecting ourselves in that sense, or are we just helping everybody else? Just curious.
That's a really, really excellent point, because years ago, I used to be a paid subscriber to LoopNet, and LoopNet, as they went into a massive growth mode, invited all their paid subscribers to dump data for points, and you could trade your points in for an iPad or something like that. And so we all fed pictures and information and all this data. And I have years and reams of this data for all sorts of property types. And the point rewards were so high that I never achieved anything. But then one day they shut it off and went from charging me $1,700 a year to be a subscriber. It suddenly jumped overnight to $2,300 a month.
For LoopNet?
For LoopNet, for what I was doing. That's what they wanted to charge me.
Holy
Just
crap.
just overnight, just like that. And the point being that AI is now doing exactly what LoopNet did, saying, "Oh, we're free. Feed us this data, feed us this data, feed us this data." And at one point, is it going to be turned and used against us?
It's because they held it
I
up
got a
too long.
question for the room.
Hold on,
We're now towards the end of April. How's everybody's inquiries looking? Are they strong, not strong? I know we're down from last year. I know we're down from 22 and 23, but how are your inquiries flowing through right now? Are you seeing a lot of leads coming in? What's the consensus in the room for inquiries? I know I see a couple on here. I see Tricia on here. I see Willie on here. I see Mike Moyer on here. Any guys want to hop up and tell us how your inquiries are looking? And I can tell you, we're still down from last year, and we got such a push on making sure that we're on the leads as they come in, that we're getting them. We're getting decent quality of leads. We're just not getting quantity right now.
Yeah,
That's
you're
an
still
excellent
converting. It's just
question.
overall total leads coming in. Yeah, we're in rental season. Thankfully, you're starting to see that uptick for
Absolutely.
most of the properties. There's always still a couple of places.
Well, maybe not for Tricia in North Dakota. They still might have snow up there.
Ugh.
We're out of snow. We have rain today there, Jim. We're fresh out of snow, but our inquiries have been good. Our call center's been busy. Our rentals are going well this month. We do see an increase over the winter. So this is our busier time though. People start coming out of hibernation. You know how that works.
Yeah.
So now that you're starting to get leads creeping up now, we're in the season. $1 million question is, what are you doing for like specials or pricing? Are you still trying to be aggressive like that, or letting the
Kind of funny that you ask, because I actually just got moved up to managing our revenue stream, our pricing. So
Yeah.
I just started that this week. So I've been working with Veritech quite closely. And yeah, we are running a special company-wide right now, the move-in special, where their third month is $1. So we have been running that right now for a couple months.
And Tricia, for those of us not familiar, where in North Dakota are you?
Our company is based out of Fargo. I personally am in Bismarck, but we have locations in 4 different states, Montana, North Dakota, Minnesota, and South Dakota.
Yeah, Trish, I can tell you in the last 30 days for us, we've had about 300 rentals. And nice part we're seeing, again, we're probably almost pushing $1,300 in Veritech upgrades. So very pleased that we're still seeing a lot of the upgraded units. And actually, now that we have some more available, we're starting to see more of the upgrades be there for people, which is nice. So, and again, specials, we're doing 50% off the first 2 months. At some properties, we have one property we just took over. We're actually doing 50% off the first 3 to get some traction in the door. But again, as we talked about previously, Jim, if you don't pay your bill on time and the late fee hits, you lose your discount. And it's right in the lease. So I can do this last month. We added about $900 back in revenue for people who didn't pay their bill on time, which lost their discount, which is, again, why would anybody want to give a discount to somebody who can't pay their bill on time?
Oh, totally. Question for you, since you're using the Veritech, that the good, better, best kind of value tier system. Like for your average facility, like how many units are you able to kind of designate to those certain tiers? Because there's only so many units that are going to be, either corner units or by the gate or things like that. What are you doing,
Jim? Really, once you rank your units and you have your units come back available, you have to get in the mindset it's not how they look if the property was empty. But if I only got 3 units come on back online, it still might be towards the middle of the property, but it's the best unit available at that time. So that's gonna be my best unit. So, and again, same thing with rate increases. I just talked to an owner this week that's wants to roll out Veritech. He goes, well, how do I do it where the rate increases for people that are in a unit now that wasn't a Veritech unit when they rented? I said, easy. And we were standing by the elevator. I said, guaranteed the guy in this unit here, if that's unit, it was a 10 by 10. So I think it was going to go be like 120 and 142, whatever. I said, guaranteed, he's not going to want to move if he gets a rate increase, because we know if that unit becomes available, it'll go out at the 142. Willie, you're on here. I just saw you pop up. You recently rolled out Veritech about a year ago. And are you seeing any fallback from people that were in a unit before Veritech now and they're getting a rate increase based on Veritech?
No, I don't think so. I think it's been pretty consistent since we started. We don't really see a massive increase of move outs from them, whether they were in there before or not.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's worked really well for us.
And the one thing you got to take in mind, Jim, is what you think the unit's worth and customer thinks is different. I can tell you that I know for a fact that for 5-star in North Dakota, the sunny side of the property in the winter is more valuable than the shady side of the property just because it's going to melt snow faster. And I can tell you, when I had stores in Palm Springs, California, the shady side of the property was more valuable than the sunny side of the property.
Interesting. Yeah.
We have actually had people move because of the ice in front of their door, and the one across from them does not have any. So that is a true statement.
Because I know your boss very well, Trish. But I mean, yeah, it's perceived value from the customer, and even like when you only have those 3 left. I mean, it could be 15 feet down the aisle, but it's still the best one available today. So guess what? That's going to go out of a premium unit.
Gotcha. I've had someone bring that up to me just fairly recently, so that's a good way to put it. That's the best unit available at that time, not just in general of your total facility. So that's a perfect way.
Like I said, with the rate increases, we actually, because people love to hate rate increase, and now we're still doing them and back in. We've always done them, but we're trying to watch them. We actually gave our managers a rent negotiation form that if a customer starts complaining about the rate increase, the manager has to fill out this form to bring it to us because they want to, make a deal for the customer. And it lists, what's the occupancy of the unit type? Where's that unit ranked in Veritech? Has the person been, how many times have they been late in the last 6 months? Are they have been, whatever, where's the unit? What's our inquiries? How many inquiries are we getting on that size unit? If you're in a size that's 100% occupied and you're going to push somebody 15 or 20 or $25 to get closer to standard rate and they're going to squawk, well, if I got inquiries come behind them, if they move out, goodbye, because the next person's going to rent the unit at the higher rate anyway. So the managers are now buying into the program because they now have to give me the data. If they want to say, hey, can we cut a deal with this guy? They got to look at the information first before they even bring it to me. And I can tell you now, Jim, they're not bringing them anymore because they understand what the answer is going to be. So we've educated the manager to help solve that, answer that question for the customer.
Yep. I can imagine, honestly, we've talked about this. I think it's a common theme through these sessions that probably don't get that many people complaining when they get a rate increase in the first place. I mean, you always get your handful, but it's not like you get bombarded.
Hey, we got it. So Jake's got a couple questions here. Jake, you want to hop up?
Yeah, go ahead.
You're on mute, Jake.
Oh, there I am. Does that work?
Yep.
That's a
Perfect.
long question, so we'll just let you ask it.
Yeah, exactly. I figured I'd throw it on there and whatever works. So
Good.
yeah, so basically from square one, I'm Jake Bell. I'm with Red Shark Storage. I know you've probably talked with Derek a few times, and I'm a partner with him. You started pretty recently, probably a month ago now, and attended ISS, and yeah, it's been a good time. But a couple of the big ones I wanted to run on here was one, I guess what you guys would recommend for pretty much just obviously a very loaded question. I understand that, but from kind of just if you're thinking of a management company that's starting with basically no marketing, really minimal to what would you think would be the one or maybe two most important things to integrate right off the bat, and at least kind of a baseline to start with, pretty much. So
well, the first thing you have to do is make sure your Google Business Profile page is maximized to its full potential. Pictures, sizes, images, everything like that. You want to make sure that page is stocked. That would be the first thing I would do, and then make sure with your website team that you have good meta tags. Jim, this is more your question. What are all those keywords? Meta tags, keywords, meta tags,
Your headers. Oh yeah.
headers.
perfect. Yeah, that's kind of what I expected to hear.
Yeah, and so I was again going back to your question. Is it specifically trying to for your storage facility or for your storage management company?
Well, yeah, correct. Well, that's kind of why I put on there a little bit for both. So for management, for not only that was kind of the second part of the question, for not only filling units, but also, for attracting facility owners and just and kind of getting into that space a little more. Because as of now, I mean, it's been pretty much only just word of mouth and referrals and it's been great, but we're maybe looking to uptick that a little bit. It's a little bit funny because it's kind of a two-sided thing. I mean, you have marketing for filling facilities, but you also have marketing for attracting new ones. So it's a little interesting trying to figure out the best way to do both. But
Yeah. So you're looking at trying to promote and get clients for your property management company as well?
exactly, yep.
Okay, gotcha. Where are you at? What area?
So we're based out in North Carolina. We have facilities in North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Montana, actually. So,
That's a big
so
jump.
yeah, exactly. Well, we actually have another office in Montana with a lot of connections there, so it kind of made sense. But so
Yeah, to me, it's just, I mean, local, frankly,
mhm.
as you're getting going for property management services, because frankly, they're gonna ask you to be like, where are you based out of? Oh, okay. And the first thing is like, well, they want something geographically close to where they're already operating,
Exactly. Yep.
because and we all operate, all across the US kind of thing. But I still get that all the time. Like, oh, you're based in Utah? I'm like, yeah, but I do it all over, but that's always the first thing, like, oh, never mind. I need someone more local. So just
Yeah.
really focusing on that and getting that message across that, hey, we will provide in this area for this thing, this is where your go-to choice.
Yeah. Absolutely. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I guess the other question, I won't take up too much time here, but the other question was, so as far as taking over facilities, and again, I mean, we're definitely a newer company. 2022, summer 2022 is when we got started. So
Did
um
you start when you were 12 years old?
yeah, exactly. Pretty much. No, it's well mid 20s, so just about, but um no, so
Do you remember
with
mid-20s?
what's that?
It's a blur. That was a
Yeah.
lifetime ago, man. That's yeah, no, I don't remember that.
Uh, yeah, and the other one just was as far as so taking over a new facility, we took over a new one about 6 months ago, and well, it was very poorly managed to say the least, and we started the takeover process, and we ran into a few customers that, of course, weren't paying or were late or whatever, and anyways, we with one specific tenant, it was, I mean, 3 or 4 months of trying to get a hold of this guy any which way we could, and I mean, letters to the door, emails, phone calls, whatever you name it, and he was visiting the facility but just disregarding anything we had to say about it. So um, and basically what ended up happening, our facility manager, yeah, I mean, she initiated an auction and we cleared out the unit, and of course then about 3 weeks after that, he was very unhappy and then wanted to inquire about his storage unit. And so basically just, I mean, how can, obviously this could be a question for an attorney, which we're dealing with as well, but basically how can we figure out, or what can we do to make sure that we are like 100% confident in our auction process, and we have zero doubt that we did anything wrong or crooked or anything.
So two questions for you first. When you took over a property, did you send out a lease letter that this is our new lease and this goes into effect at a certain time?
Yep.
Okay, so did you deny the customer access to the property either via the gate or overlocking the unit once you became past due?
Absolutely. Yep. For about 4 months.
Okay, so at that point in time, if you've gone, and again, Jim, you can, you will probably agree with me. If you, we'll wait, 30 days from the lease letter goes out, then you're another 30 days. So I would probably be selling like month 6 or whatever. If I've done everything right, I've sent the letters out, I've sent the mail out, I've done everything right the right way. and he's not responding, I'm going to go ahead and sell it as well. Again, you're going to have these people come right out of the thing is, the address, that's not my right address. And as long as you can prove when you purchase it, that the information you were provided from the previous owner is what you had to go on file with. Now you can, we've done things where we do some, check it online. Like you can go to, what the website called, where you can actually start looking for people with a phone number or email address to try and backlook them, and you can pay for that. But if you've gotten to that point where, and now you said they were on site. How do you know they were on site?
Oh, because they well, not only did we see them on surveillance, I believe. Well, actually, this was about a month before I came on board, but I believe talking to our facility manager, our maintenance guy had seen them when he was on site for sure, or we had seen them via surveillance, I believe. So.
Okay, so how did if you got a gated, is it a gated facility?
Yep, yeah, gated.
So how did he get in?
With a oh man, I'm spaced on the name, but no key locks. It's a no key facility, and then they get in via a gate code. But they had been getting in. You know what? I'm spaced on this. Like I said, it was a little bit before I came on board, but they had been in
take
there.
this one offline a little bit and talk to the lawyers. But as far as I know from what you're saying so far, Jim, I think he did everything the right way.
Okay.
And just my 2 cents again. Timeline is correct, especially we know it is when you take over a site. Sometimes it's a freaking train wreck, and you have like no
Yeah.
route to go off of. You're just starting from ground zero. So you did that right for the timeline. About 4 months. It's been overlocked. You've sent off the letters. You've sent off the for the new ownership. Here's the new lease. Check. Done all that. Now at the 4-month mark, like, all right, now we got to get rid of this. It's been long enough. They would have raised their hand by this point. Document everything that you can. I'm going through this right now. We just said 70 units at a site last week that are just kind of like almost like mystery units. It's a nightmare. But you record, and I'm just saying this because it sounds like this guy's going to be a pain in the ass trying to come after you, saying you sold my stuff. Why would you do that?
Absolutely.
Record from the very beginning when you go to the unit. As you're rolling up the unit, you're recording, not just pictures. You're going to video record everything. Roll it up. You're seeing all the inventory that's in there. You're taking all your pictures. Roll the unit down. You put the tag on. You put your own lock on. Everything's recorded from beginning to end. That way, they're not going to come back in 6 months. And if, let's just say, it ever does get to court, and they're saying like, "Oh, you sold my Mona Lisa that was in there," and blah 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 blah. You'd be like, "This is what was in there," and I can guarantee it's probably just junk.
Exactly.
Garbage. You know what I mean? So just overly cautious and document photos and video.
Yeah.
For everything. So yeah. And
Awesome.
keep
Perfect. I appreciate it. Yeah,
And-
that's all for me. So
Anthony jumped on here.
Oh yeah. Lean.
Anthony, were you saying late to lean, or you put lean to lease? Were you talking late to lean?
Yeah, my bad. I said my bad.
It is Friday, my friend, but yeah, late to lean. I can't say enough good things about them with what they do and how they do things. And the cost that for them is, we absorb that, we roll that right to the customer. Late to lean has been a godsend for our organization. We never have to worry about ads not being posted or letters not going right or these things. So late to lean is somebody that I, highly recommend to anybody with the lean process. Jeff and Andy are phenomenal to work with. Their whole team is great. Can't say enough good things about them.
cool.
You'll be able to
Thanks,
sleep
guys.
at night knowing that it's taken care of. So yeah, especially as you're just getting going.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't have to use them forever, frankly. But I think it's great just to really get to know and understand, and knowing that it's being done correctly. But in my point of view, once you get to that point, like, hey, cool, let's just keep it rolling, just keep it going. But I like to use them just for educational, especially in different states, because every state's different on what the lien laws are and what you got to do.
We use them across the board, and we're adding a new store in Georgia right now, and I've already had to call to them about when they're going to take over. So
Yeah.
for me, it's the cost save, all I did was I up my lien fee from 100 to 125 to cover their costs. And actually, if I customer gets the letter and I pay them and the customer winds up paying her way out, I'm actually making money.
True. Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Never. All right. We got about, and I will be mindful of everyone's time to say now. So we got like 15 minutes. So any other questions? Jump on, pop on, whatever you want. Let's see if we got anybody else here.
Shannon, what are you seeing as far as call volume for the call centers? Has it increased in the last 30, 60 days?
I wish I could tell you yes. We're still seeing it trending slightly down calls per store. But we are seeing transactions on like the mobile app or the automated systems are still trending up. So what that's telling me is that people are just, as we go on, they're getting more and more comfortable handling things themselves, right? So I'm a big fan of give them all the ways. Answer the phone if it rings, though. You guys know I'm not going to hang up without saying that. But listen, not everybody wants to talk on the phone. I don't. Do you guys call people? I don't. I'm a live chat girl if I need something. If I can order it on the website and pick it up, have it delivered to the door, yes. So
Hi, Shannon. What direction are rates going?
rates are level from what we can see. They're not having the hikes that we were seeing, even this time last year. But we are seeing more and more promotions, I think. And we're having people talk about things like what I would call like a double dip on a promotion, which is, hey, we've got a 50% off your first 3 months. And then if they're still trying to get away, is there anything else I can do to sweeten that pot, so to speak? Where the managers on site have just a little bit more that they can offer to get that deal. In all honesty, we're seeing that it used to be 3 to 5 calls that people would make to find where they want to rent. More and more people have already made that decision by looking at websites. And by the time they pick up the phone and call, they're only calling one. So I would say, do bring the sharpest pencil right out of the gate, and just win the deal. Don't let them hang up.
Good
Yeah,
to see you.
it's
Thank
All
you.
like getting that phone call.
Say again?
I just had a conversation with an owner a week or two ago, and they still reluctantly have answer machines. So I said, okay, we're gonna play some games here, and I talk to a couple of his managers with him.
Mhm.
And said, so how many voicemails are you getting in the morning when you come in? Oh yeah, about a gate. I said, how many people are leaving a message about looking for a surgeon? They're like, none.
None.
Yeah.
I looked at him, I said, dude, I said, one rental from a call center pays for itself.
Yep. Thank you, Jim. As always, I appreciate that plug.
No, well,
What-
real quick,
literally it
well,
does.
Shannon, we got some new people on here. If you don't mind, just so they know where you're coming from, why you have all this data. Quick
Sure.
plug. Go ahead.
I am with XPS Solutions, and we're a third-party call center specifically in the self-storage space. We've been doing this for 24 years now. This is our home, and this is all we do. Yeah, so we have, thousands and thousands and thousands of calls every month that come through here. I see a couple of our clients on here. Mary Jo, hi, you made me smile. Pam,
Robert Jim.
here, love them.
Mhm.
And the thing is, like I say, every time you guys give me an opportunity to even say hello on this call, I'm just going to say, answer the phone. You don't
Right.
have to hire us to do it, but somebody has to do it. You guys are spending a fortune to make that call happen. Do not let them get away, because Jim,
But you need a backup. You can't answer every call. So when I'm answering a call, their XPS is answering the second call.
that's right. And anytime that is, especially if it's a rental opportunity,
Mhm.
you just don't want that to get past you, because your current tenants, they'll leave you a message. Absolutely. They have to, because they need what you have. Somebody who's not renting with you yet, they don't
Right.
have to have you. They
Nope.
can have the next person who actually helps them right out.
Right.
So yes, I love, like Trisha, I just sent you a note. You still haven't added me on LinkedIn. Please do, because I really want to see what you guys are doing. I am a big fan of an internal call center. It offers you the kind of control that, when you're a larger operator, you have the ability and the operational budget to do it. Fantastic. Absolutely, I have a lot that we can learn from that as well. But yes, you're just always going to hear me say, be there how your tenants and your potential tenants want you to be there. And don't let them get past you. Think of it
Shannon,
like,
how small is your smallest client or customer,
oh my goodness. Well, I mean, we have single
facility
facility
wise?
clients. Yeah, single facility. Absolutely.
I mean,
I
how
have
many
single
square foot?
facilities that have like 40 units, like teeny tiny.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool, thanks.
Can I answer?
And guys, it's not just taking leads. I mean, yeah, and again, you know, you got to, I mean, how many times we get a phone call, you know, I forgot my gate code, I can't get in. Well, the call center can answer that question for you.
Yeah.
And not have a pissed off customer because they couldn't get in the property. Hey, I got an overlock on the unit with DaVinci, I need the code, or, you know, they can, I mean, just taking payments. I mean, I said this before and I say it all the time. My managers in the office do not take a phone payment. You know, if you want to pay over online and pay my managers, we charge you a fee because we have the call center that can take payments. We have the website that can take payments. We have the texting thing for payments. You can walk in and make a payment, but if you have to call my manager, you're going to pay a fee because we're going to retrain you to pay a more effective way.
Sure fee.
$5.95. It's not a big one, but you know what? It's enough of a deterrent to get people to go pay online.
Yeah.
And I'm
no,
sure
that's why I asked.
I'm sitting here in a brand new store in Georgia, and I'm sure we're going to have people, well, they always took it from me before. No, we don't do that no more.
Yep.
No, I love it.
I see
I would
Willie
not take
smiling
it
and laughing. You know, you've heard that from me a couple times, right, Willie?
Oh yeah.
Are you doing it yet?
No, I'm not charging someone to call in and make a payment. I just want their money.
Right.
All right, get your money, just pay your bill.
Uh-huh. I got you.
Especially when you have
Say
an,
Don't come to the good side.
what's that?
Charging.
I say when you have an
Yeah.
internal call center.
I think it's a good idea.
Who's that? Oh, Mary. No, I was just gonna say, especially if you have an internal call center and you're paying for their time. Yeah, if you can have them be focusing on sales calls and not
Right.
team, I totally understand why you're doing that. So I think that's a great way to go. Hey, before I forget, guys, I know we kind of started off this call talking about AI and that I alluded to that presentation. I just put it in chat. So you can click on that link and you can, if you're bored, you can watch that AI presentation.
Monday, 7.
All right. What else we got? Got a few more minutes here. Anything else?
Pam, you want to hop on? You got anything to say? Any good tidbits for us? Or Anthony, you got anything hot happening?
I just had fun. I one of the quick things last night. You guys know I'm a huge heart, and this is going the extra mile. I had a lady call me yesterday, very late last night. She called 3 times, so it's a triple dial. So I know it's usually trying to figure out something's going on. Long story short, her father is in the hospital, incapacitated, can't make decisions on his own, and so she was looking around. She found a lease, did not know where the storage facility was. And so what I did is go a little bit extra mile for your customer, even if they're not your customer. It just shows, you know, that you care. Anyway, looked up the LLC up on the Alabama Secretary of State, did a little back search for her, and was able to at least point her in the right direction. So it's another one of them things where I just want to go the extra mile, even if they're not or couldn't, you know, may not be a customer. Kind of want to lead off on that. What do you guys think? Like, if you do not have anything available, do you usually, if you know, like, if you don't have, I know we're kind of going off the call center, but do you usually refer them out to your competitor, or, you know, make that friendship with your competitor?
1000%, yes.
Yes.
I said it before years ago. Stephanie Tharp, who's a great friend of mine in Tennessee, we spoke in one of the conferences, and we had stores literally side by side. We had a fence dividing our property. She was brand new, climate controlled. We were first generation drive up and parking. And anybody called me for climate control, I gave them their number and she gave them my number. And we had a great relationship because remember, at the end of the day, the customer's going to remember that you helped them. And the next time somebody's looking for storage, they know, even though you might not have had what they needed, they're going to know that Anthony helped them out. And they're going to give Anthony's number out for them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we always map it out when we have a facility. Of course, you're mapping out your 3 ring of all your competitors in your area, and yeah, you're going out, you shaking hands, and there's some background. I'm gonna meet you there, Mary. but you're going out there and you're meeting your competition, frankly. And I've had some managers that are a little scared about doing that. I'm like, you're on the same level playing field. You're in storage. That's like the perfect lead in to have a conversation. And just being like, hey, I'm down the street. You know, this is what's going on here. We're certain sizes we have availability, other ones we're full on. It doesn't, you don't have to overcomplicate it and just be like, hey, can we just refer back and forth?
Negative.
I've had some places do, you know, actual referral fees back and forth. Sometimes it's much more just kind of loose, you know, the little handshake deal kind of a thing, and send them that way. But ultimately, you're taking care of your customer. That's what you just talked about. You're filling the needs of what the customer needs. They don't want to be put on a waiting list because no one's going to go on a wait list for 2 weeks. They need it now. No one thinks in the future. So help them out. Yeah, you're going to give that to your competitor, but it comes back. It does. We're all in this together, frankly, and I hate sometimes when the competition they don't like to play nice to other people. I don't know. I'm not that way. I know you're not that way, Jim. We're all in this together, and the more you can make this a local friendly, we're all competitive. I get it, but you start making a friendly market, especially kind of manager to manager, start becoming friends that way. It's kind of cool where that leads. We've got a few more minutes here. Oh, and I was gonna say, I mean, thanks, Sherry, for putting it in there. About doing a demo. Guys, this is total free. I mean, it's not like you can't plug, whatever. If you have a service, you have provided value, cool. Put it in there. That's totally fine. That's what we're here for. It's making the connections, learning, going to checking out vendors. Same thing. Maybe we should do this for maybe have like a theme for next time, but if there's any certain vendors or something new you're trying, let us know. That's how we're all gonna be learning and stuff like that. Almost like it's I don't know, like going to trade shows. What'd you pick up? What was something new that you just checked out? Like I'll do one. I'll just it's on my card right in front of me. I checked this out at the last show.
One thing that I was going to mention for the sorry, I apologize. The gentleman earlier, the younger guy, some if you guys aren't doing for your management too or for your facilities, another good vendor is, I know Jim will speak really highly of it, is Storage Reach, to get that Google reviews and that Google profile up.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's been a common theme. I think we mention them, I think, every time in some way, shape, or form doing these events. Because it works. It's a simple solution, it's cheap, and you get results. So why not?
Plus the impact on your GBP page. We had a 22 or 26% increase in our traffic on our GBP page because we were handling our reviews better. That's free, guys. I mean, if you can, I mean, we're not paying for pay-per-click, we're not paying for any of that stuff, and I don't want to. I'd rather do it organically, and if I can control it organically, we're better.
Hey, Anthony, since you're jumping in here again, promote what you got going on. Again, we're all about education here, and I know Anthony does a weekly meetup on Facebook and on Zoom. So yeah, go ahead and plug away, man.
So what I do is if anybody's interested, every Wednesday, time may change, but right now going forward, every Wednesday at 11 o'clock Eastern time, if you guys look up Self-Storage Networking and Acquisitions on Facebook, we're a group. I got about 7,000 members or so, and we got about 1% that are active. Each and every single week, we either just kind of collaborate. I know Steve's on here a lot. He probably talk a little highly and stuff like that. But anyway, bring vendors and stuff like that on. Sherry's been on here. Shannon comes on each week. We've had the pleasure of having you, Jim, and Jim on, both you guys, and I appreciate it coming on and just sharing knowledge. That's what we'd like to do. So encourage you guys to join us if you want to. I think for the next couple of weeks, we're chatting along. We jump on the Zoom and I open up the discussion for anybody who may, just like this, having any issues or looking at different things, or you're looking at buying a facility. We kind of look at it from an overview of get a different collaboration of viewpoints.
No, perfect. That's why we do this. We're all learning from each other to make extra connections, and you never know where that just one connection might lead. I mean, we've all done that. You meet one person, all of a sudden, what? And you had no idea, that certain vendor, a certain tool, or that certain methodology of doing your operations, and all of a sudden it's changed everything.
Anthony,
was-
which company are you with?
Who's that? What?
Oh, I just wonder which company is Anthony with there,
So,
or how can I find you?
I own a self-storage, I own a small facility with two partners outside of Birmingham, Alabama, and then a
Oh.
third-party property managed another facility or a smaller boat and RV place for a local investor. I live in Charleston, South Carolina. I'm gonna put the link to the group in there. Yeah, I'll put the link in the group in the chat here real quick. I highly encourage you to join. Ask questions and stuff like that. If you post anything, I do approve it, because one thing I don't like about some of the Facebook groups, just me personally, is it's constant advertising for vendors when they don't provide value. I want a vendor. Yeah, no State Farm, no State Farm. When I approve, I make it so I have to approve a post. And when I want a vendor to be able to advertise their services, I want to say, hey, look, guys, we saved this customer such and such. Or if you guys are looking at doing concrete, look at this. This is a different way of doing it. And this is what we specialize in. Contact me for more information than just putting a post up about steel or about whatever else. Really, keep it educational and educational, informal, or informative. So.
Yep, we're gonna drop that link because we got 1 minute, so you got a minute to drop the link in there. All right, so
Jim, you're right. I had lunch with Mike Anthony in Phoenix, and Mike and I have known each other a long time. We started talking about some of our common, mutual connections. It's like, oh, you know him? Yeah. And it's like, oh my, we start telling stories. So it's great when you get to sit down and network and check with these guys, because I mean, Mike Anthony, Dave Cooper, the list goes on and on. Darren Kelly, it's just crazy how many of us know each other, and it's great. And I've been on Anthony's group a couple times, and I try to make it when I can, and we're all just busy. But that's the thing. You hop on, you check it out, you learn from somebody else, and somebody says one thing, it's like, ooh, light bulb goes off. So that's why we do this thing.
No, I mean, again, like what you just said, hey, we're all busy, which again, I really appreciate. Again, I know I keep saying it every week, but seriously, that you're taking an hour out of your time to be here to do this. This is fantastic, because this would suck if it was just me and Jim sitting here twiddling around.
And last mention about the group, and I highly appreciate Jim&Jim, you guys mentioning it too, is if any vendors or anybody else that you guys are looking for, you can actually probably do the search in the Facebook group, and I probably have interviewed them. Lay to lean, Sherry's and Shannon's been on there presenting, everybody. So it's a good, even if you're just kind of traveling and you want to kind of figure out or learn a little bit more, or contact the vendor directly.
Perfect. No, good resource.
Well, I thank you all, because it's very helpful.
Good. Well, again, thank you guys for joining. I'll be mindful of your time. We'll wrap this up. We'll be back in 2 weeks, right?
All right.
All right.
See you then.
Sounds good, guys.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
Take care. Have a great weekend.